Welcome to the Radiant Life podcast. I am your host, Tatiana, and I am a master mindset coach, and I'm obsessed with empowering you to live and create your best life possible. If you're looking to uplevel your mindset, life, happiness, and success, then you are in the right place. My goal with this podcast is to help you see the potential within yourself, to be able to break the limiting beliefs and habits that are holding you back, and to help you feel inspired to get clear with who you are in order to create the life you desire. Thank you so much for listening. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello. Welcome to the Radiant Life podcast. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so excited to have you tuning in today. And if you are a listener to all of the episodes, welcome back. I appreciate you always pressing play and tuning in. Today's episode, let me just start with, I have so much energy today that I'm going to try to slow down to make sure you get the message. I think I'm just so excited and passionate about this topic because I am obsessed with learning about the subconscious mind and reprogramming the thoughts, beliefs, habits that do not serve you and creating new ones to help you get to where you want to be. And within today's episode, I'm going to give you some background on that and explain how to change your beliefs because your beliefs rule the world. And a backstory, I speak this from example, not only from the work that I've done with strength trainings and my clients, but who I used to be. I used to believe, and I'll tap in a little bit more deeper into this as we get into the episode, but I used to believe a lot of negative things about myself, about others, and no wonder my external reality was not where I wanted it to be. So get ready, grab a notebook. You might want to answer some questions that I might ask you or just listen to when you get home, whatever it may be, but get ready for a juicy episode that's going to help you change your beliefs to serve you going forward. So your beliefs rule your life. They rule everything about you. Your external reality is ruled by your internal beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, but primarily your beliefs, right? So how does a belief start? Well, let's start with what a belief is. Like, a belief is a thought that becomes a belief when you've repeated it so much or you've accepted it as being true to yourself by either evidence or what typically happens is that you tied an emotion to it. So what does that mean? So you, maybe as a child, you heard something and you saw a person or you were in an emotional state that got implanted into your subconscious mind because you thought it, you felt it, and you probably repeated it over and over again. And your subconscious mind, to rewire it, to reprogram it, needs repetition to create something new. And when we are children, we're just like walking subconscious minds. So things that we saw and we heard and were easier for us to create beliefs at that point in time, right? And so repetition, repetitive thoughts and emotion create a belief. And primarily they come from a significant emotional event or something you picked up on as a child, probably your parents, a teacher, like some trusted adult, right? Some beliefs that you may have that at least I had growing up were money doesn't grow on trees. How many of you have heard that, right? Like, think about that. Money doesn't grow on trees. And what did that belief and that saying do to you? Oh, that like money's not easy to come by. You know, money is limited. That to get money, like I had one that I thought was, you know, success comes from long, hard nights and hard work. Like I just thought to get money, since it's limited, you have to work really, really hard and be miserable. Like that's just what I saw. And we adopt these beliefs primarily from childhood because from ages 0 to 7, we are walking subconscious minds. And everything we heard and we saw and we felt, we modeled and have created beliefs within us that we now have as adults. And you act a certain way. You think a certain way because of this. I mean, how many of you are sitting here listening and maybe you've done something and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm turning into my mom. My mom used to tell me this and I used to like hate when she said it, and now you're saying it, right? Because you've modeled that. That was ingrained in your subconscious mind for 7 years. Or maybe you had a significant emotional event that triggered a thought that you repeated over and over again that created a belief. Maybe when you were 15, you were performing, I don't know, like a talent show or a public speaking event and everybody was laughing at you. Imagine that. Like, that's a significant emotional event. That's traumatizing. And you probably had the thought like, wow, I'm not good enough, or wow, I can never public speak, or I'm not good enough at like the trumpet or whatever you're doing at the talent show. And you had an emotion attached to it because that was traumatizing. You were embarrassed, you were hurt, and you created the belief that you were not good enough at X, Y, and Z, right? So take a second right now and like press pause. Take a second and think about your childhood. What did you hear? What did you see? What did you experience that might be coming up for you as an adult? Think about that, because your current external reality is ruled by your current beliefs and your thoughts. And maybe your current beliefs and your thoughts stem from a parent telling you weren't good enough because you didn't get straight A's, or you watching your parents scream and get upset because they didn't have money to pay the bills, or you being embarrassed because you peed your pants. Like, I don't know what it is, but just think about these things, right? Think about what you've been through. Because literally, our reality is a reflection of what's going on internally, our inner dialogue, our identity. And our identity stems from what we consistently tell ourselves. These stories, whether these stories are true or false, they become our identity. Our identity is composed of like our dominant thoughts and beliefs. So I wish you guys could see me right now, but it's like a circle. So you have a thought, right? And a thought leads to a feeling. When you're in that feeling, your mind will create more thoughts to validate that feeling, right? And then when you're in a thought and a feeling, that becomes a belief, which then becomes a story, which then becomes like, your personality, your identity, and you just embody it, you just identify as it, and that affects, your thoughts, your behaviors, your habits. And then what happens? Your personality gets projected onto your personal reality. And it all stemmed from a thought and a feeling, which created a belief. So some examples of stories I used to tell myself was, that I was overweight. I wasn't skinny enough. I wasn't pretty enough. And I just embodied it. I was like, well, I'm just going to be overweight and I'll just stuff my face with this cake and I won't play sports like my sister. And I didn't feel good enough, right? Another one for me was like, I didn't feel good enough. I was not smart because people told me like I was dumb. Like my teachers, I couldn't get straight A's. I just could not focus. And I just didn't think I was smart enough. I always felt like a failure. My parents would tell me like, you always give up, right? Like you tried soccer, you tried basketball, you tried guitar. And then them telling me that, mom and dad, if you're listening, I love you. But them telling me that made me feel like a failure, made me always feel like a quitter. And I kind of identified like that, right? And then I just stopped trying things. I would get scared for public speaking, which I can't remember fully. I'm trying to think of this on the spot where that happened. I think I probably did. Oh, I remember now. It was in third grade where I tried for something and like I stumbled on my words and I didn't get the part. I think it was like a peer leader or something. And right there, that was a moment where I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel like worthy or smart enough and like intelligent enough to be a public speaker. And that ruled me for a while, right? Like as a child, I had big dreams. I always said like, I want to be like J-Lo, like a singer, dancer, actress. Like I have a very big, bold personality. But what happens when we're children, this is a little bit of a different topic, is that we lose ourselves because of societal norms, societal standards. Like, oh no, stop being so creative and like sit down and do your math, right? Like they don't like teach us how to express ourselves, or we're told to act or be a certain way, right? And so when I had these thoughts, the adults around me validated them. Like my mom would tell me I was big boned, so I just assumed like I was going to be overweight because a lot of people in my family were overweight. And then I started to identify as it. And I just was like, oh, whatever, that's just me. Or how many times you tell someone like, oh, that's just who she is, right? You're like making an excuse for her bad behavior or her rudeness or just being like mean. Like I had that. Like, no, It's not who you are. It's a behavior that you can change. And when you have these adults that validate you, like hearing teachers saying, yeah, like she's not doing good, she's not the brightest bulb, and you just think, oh, okay, yep, I got validated again. I'm not smart. I'm not good enough. These become beliefs, like deeply rooted beliefs that do not serve you. So I want you to just take a second here and think about what are things that you believe in. Look around your life and ask yourself, like, how did you come to believe what you currently believe? Did somebody tell you that? Did you watch something? Did you experience a traumatic event? Like, what was it that made you believe that? What made you believe that your job has to be miserable? What made you believe that money is limited and is hard? What made you believe that you're not smart and you're shy, or you're not, whatever it is that you believe about yourself or your reality or your current circumstances? Ask yourself, like, why do I believe what I believe? And then think about, like, what would the thoughts need to be to have the reality that I'm currently experiencing, right? Because, I mean, your current reality, whether you're happy in it or not, they're ruled by your thoughts. And back in 2016, like when I was miserable at my job, hated my body, like this is when I started becoming aware in 2016, 2017 of like becoming aware of this and personal development and mindset. I was like, oh shoot, okay, what are the thoughts that I'm telling myself? Well, me staring at my mirror, picking my body apart, like of course I don't love myself. Of course I don't like what my body looks like, because I just focus on the bad and I think that I'm just ugly and I'm not good enough. Like, why? Where do these stem from? Childhood. Okay, right? And just think about, like, what would the thoughts need to be to have the reality that you're desiring deep down? Because I know you're desiring a lot right now. So what would the thoughts need to be? Thoughts of confidence. For me, it was confidence in being smart. For me, it was like, being healthy and good enough. And I would tell myself, like, it's possible for me to be a confident person. I am believing that I'm worth the love. I'm becoming smarter each day, and just like rewiring, right? And asking yourself, like, how can I embody and become this version you desire? So the first step to change your beliefs is awareness. The first step is awareness. And how do you become aware, right? How do I become aware if it's a limiting belief or what I believe in? Well, at least at this current moment in time, look at your reality. Look at your life. Are you happy? Or are you sad? Or are you mad? Are you angry? Like, are you always frustrated? Like, where are you at? And look at different areas of your life, your career, your health, your relationships, your family, your friendships, your finances. Where are you? And then, like, are you satisfied? Are you happy or not? And if you're not, okay, why? What beliefs do you have about it, right? And think about, where do you want to be? Based on looking at, like, oh shoot, okay, my family relationships are good, but like my career isn't, right? Okay, cool. Like, you have a little better of an understanding. And the first step is awareness of where you're currently at. Because if you don't know where you're at right now, how the heck do you know where you'll want to go? And this takes work. This takes time. I'm not telling you you're going to learn how to change your beliefs and identity just with this one podcast, because it takes time. But like, really taking a look at yourself and your reality. Look in the mirror. Do you love what you see in the mirror? How do you feel about yourself? How do you speak to yourself? What are your daily emotions? Are you happy? Are you angry? Like, again, how do you like your job? Are your friends supportive? Like, is your relationship healthy? Are you happy and in love? Take a look at your current reality and bring awareness to it, instead of being an autopilot and just being like, oh, I'm fine, things are good. When really, really deep down, no, they're not. Maybe they may not be. And this took me time, because I believed that it was normal to not like my job. It was normal to be miserable every day. Like, no, not true. And I had to take a look at, like, okay, what are the thoughts I have behind this, right? And then, like, think about your current reality and who's living this. Like, what are you believing to be true about money, about relationships, that life is hard, that you're scared to be who you truly are because you believe that people are judgmental? That was me. Are you kidding me? I was a product of societal standards and normal. I used to be like very out there, laughing, whatever. As a child, I kind of came closed off at certain points because of some bullying. And I don't know, I just kept coming in and out. And then I went on Adderall, whatever. And then I got scared again to be who I truly was. And back in 2016, 2017, when I started learning about health and fitness and was my passions and I was discovering more about myself, I was scared to be who I was because I had the belief that people were judgmental because I judged myself, right? I used to think that rich people were greedy, that money was a limited resource, and you only get money when you work really, really hard. Like, these were things that I thought. Money, if you struggle with money, let's shift the beliefs. This is something I'm still working on, but I've been able to overcome the beliefs about myself, who I truly am, my love, and for me. Maybe you're out here single and you've been single for years. Well, do you believe that there's any good guys out there or good women out there? Right? Look at your beliefs. Look at your current reality. And if you really don't know, like, your beliefs are already being mirrored to you. Everyone's a mirror. So if you're getting triggered or upset by others, look within, right? What are you believing about yourself and for it? And the next time you become frustrated, upset, bring awareness. Okay, hold up. I'm feeling this way. What thoughts were I going through my head to create this feeling? Remember, a thought leads to a feeling. And when you're in a feeling, you create more thoughts to validate that feeling, to then be a belief. Dig deep. What am I thinking? What am I feeling, right? What do I believe? Do I really believe this, right? Ask yourself. The biggest thing is to ask questions. And then from there, in that moment, how can I shift this? How can I shift my thought right now to help shift my feeling? And then that, helps you shift your identity. And how can I embody this different version of me? So 5 things, like 5 little steps that you can do right now, next time, is now that you have awareness. So maybe I guess it's 6 steps, because the first step is awareness of your current reality. What are thoughts and beliefs that you currently have? I encourage you to write these down, journal them out, so then you can see the truth of what's going on in your head, and doing this in a non-judgmental way, because it is what it is. These beliefs are not you. Your thoughts are not you. So let go of the judgment, let go of the label that, like, oh my God, I'm a bad person for thinking this. No. There's a reason you thought it, because someone either put it in your head and you repeated it so many times, or you experienced a significant emotional event, traumatic event. Don't judge yourself, but bring awareness to it, right? So first step, bring awareness to your current reality, your thoughts, and what you believe. Second thing is, like, who must you become in order to achieve what you want? And if you're sitting here like, well, I don't really know what I want. That's a different topic, because, how can you know what you want if you don't know who you are? But still, just think about, like, what are some goals that you have? What is your dream reality? And be like, who must I become in order to achieve what I want? Second thing, or third, these numbers are not going to go well. Third thing is like, what does this version of myself believe and think on a daily basis? What does this version of myself believe to be true about whatever reality is? So maybe you're focusing on money. What does this version of myself believe about money, about relationships, about family, career, right? Do you believe that you can love your job or no? Remember, we want to focus on, like, what this better version, this dream reality of yours is, right? What does he or she believe? 3/4 is now create an image in your mind. Close your eyes right now. After you write it all down, close your eyes. What would it look like? What would it look like? What would you see? What would you hear? What would you feel in this current reality? And creating a visual is the biggest thing for your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and what you tell it. So when we're trying to do, like, this reprogramming and shifting your beliefs, we need to create, obviously, we're creating new thoughts and new beliefs. We're writing those down, right? And we want to create that image. Like, how would I show up? How would I feel? What would I look like? Like, would I be smiling more, right? Like, what would my reality look like? And creating a visual is huge for manifesting your dream reality. You want to make sure you're, tapping into the feeling. Like, what would it feel like to think and believe these things and to be this version of you? The next step is create an affirmation for these thoughts. So, like, when we went back to what does this version of yourself believe to be true, create affirmations about that, and have a podcast episode on affirmations. So create it. If you're writing down these new thoughts and beliefs, create affirmations on those and hang it everywhere. Repeat it daily. I have affirmations on my mirror. I literally covered my entire room once with sticky notes to reprogram me with believing that I was good enough and qualified and worthy. Like, I did that. Do it, right? You're worthy of it. And remember, when you say these affirmations daily, you need to tie emotion to it. Feel as if this is your new truth. Feel as if you already are in this reality and already really believe and think these things. Repeat them daily. Close your eyes, visualize them daily. Do meditations and visualize it. And the final step is just become aware of this. Become aware of the change. Become aware of your thoughts. Maybe you think differently about your job and you're being more grateful and you're loving it. Maybe your mood's shifted. People are noticing, wow, you're so much more happier now. Like, what's going on? Become aware of the changes that you're making slowly on a day-by-day basis and celebrate it. Again, why journaling is so important. Just like weight loss, you can't see changes on a day-to-day basis. But when you put your side-by-side pictures, whoa, you saw the difference, right? Journaling allows you to do that. You can look, oh, wow, that's what I used to think and feel and believe a month ago. Wow, okay, things are shifting. I'm not where I want to be, but things are shifting. Journal this out and celebrate when you're making these changes. And if you're like, well, if I tell myself I am confident, like maybe you don't believe it, then just switch around the affirmation to like, I'm in the process of believing. I'm in the process of choosing to believe that money is endless and it comes easily and effortlessly to me, right? I'm in the process of choosing that I believe that I am worthy and good enough or whatever it is. So write it down in a way that feels good to you. And do not give up. Do not give up on this. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up. Like this takes time. You've had these beliefs for how many years now? How old, whatever age you are. Think about it. This takes time to unlearn, unprogram, and then rewire, right? Do not give up. You are worthy of feeling your best. You are worthy of having your dreams become your reality. And change takes time. Change takes repetition for your subconscious mind to adopt a new behavior, a new thought, a new belief. But you're worthy of it. So go enjoy changing your beliefs. And there's multiple ways to change your beliefs. This is the best like generic way that I could really bring to you. I go a lot more. I teach this way more in depth with my coaching, but there's other ways, other modalities to help rewire your beliefs, like NLP modalities, hypnosis, tapping, meditation. There's a lot. And this is what I get to do, and I get to help share with my clients in my coaching. And that, if that is something you're interested in, you can send me a message or apply for Embrace Your Radiance, which is my one-on-one coaching. I'll put that in the description box below. And I do offer a group version of that now, but we are in our first cohort. So cohort, is that the right word? The next one will probably be opening at the end of August and September. So if you're looking to maybe not go full force into one-on-one and maybe think group would be good, send me a message and we'll put you on the wait list. There's different ways, but I highly encourage you to, at least at this moment in time, to bring awareness to where you're at, to what you think, what you believe, and make some shifts and say, no, I'm choosing not to believe this anymore. And just speak to yourself. Say it out loud because you're worthy of it. And if you want to go deeper, let me know, because this is my job. I love it. I'm obsessed with it because I've been able to change who I am for the better. I've been able to change my reality for the better. Everything that I have now, I dreamt about in 2017. I would sit closing my eyes. I remember in the summer in August, visualizing everything. Now is better, right? Because if it's not what you want, something better. But it all starts with becoming aware, and making the choice to think and believe differently. And this takes time. This takes effort. It's not easy, but it's so fucking worth it. And you are worthy of it. I promise you. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm so excited to hear what beliefs you're going to be changing. Send me a message if you have any questions or any feedback. If this episode was juicy and you loved it, please take a screenshot, tag me, share it with those so they can help change their beliefs too. I want to help you change yourself, but also let's change others so we can change the world. But we change the world by first changing ourselves. Okay? Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with me and write an Apple iTunes review so I can keep the good stuff coming your way. If you aren't following me already, you can find me on Instagram at Tatiana_Kuto. I appreciate you so much and cannot wait to see you in the next episode. In the meantime, continue to shine bright and embrace your radiance.